We are talking about my hands-off Facebook group method that brings me 10 to 15 leads every single day. And not just leads for lead's sake. We're talking about highly qualified leads that are really, I believe, a perfect fit for what we're doing and how we can help them. This is part 3. So if you're catching up, there's some replays floating around on my profile. You can scroll back maybe to the last few weeks. If you can't find them, they're on YouTube as well. And it's okay if you have missed part 1 and part 2. I'm going to do a recap today. We've got some awesome resources to share with you. I'm really proud of these and what we've built for you. And it's going to really help you step by step implement what we're doing. So I'm going to show you part 1, which is basically setting this system up. Part 2, which is about automating it. And part 3 is all about delegation, right? With these things, you can truly have a hands-off approach to generating more qualified leads for your business. And I've been doing this for about 4 years now when we created our first community. And I'll tell you, in the beginning, I was doing all these things. I didn't automate, I didn't delegate, and it was a lot of work. But with what I'm going to give you today, and if you want that hashtag live, right, we got to make sure you're engaging. We'll say, if you're engaging on our live stream, number one, I'll say hello, answer your questions, but we are going to follow up and send you a document that's going to be really valuable for you and your business. And that's all the SOPs to complete this 3-phase setup, automation, and delegation. All right. So we've got Dr. Wong in the house. Hello, welcome, welcome. We got Jeffrey from Houston. We've got Scott. John Vaughn, how you doing, man? Good to see you. It's been a while. Say hi to me. John, hope you're well. Michael, let's go. Kevin. All right, cool. Hashtag live if you're watching live. Hashtag replay. All the people that do the replays, like you guys are just quiet, stalking like weirdos. Come on, say hashtag replay. Let us know where you're watching from. Don't be shy. When you do, I'm telling you, when you do and you see this document, you're going to want it. And I'm not going to give it to you unless if you show us some love back in the comments. All right, so let me share my screen. We're going to get into a quick slide presentation. And then again, I'm going to walk you through exact hiring document I use to hire a community manager. And all the SOPs, meaning the processes that they implement. We'll have a conversation around what this looks like. And again, this might be you. You might be your own community manager starting out. But I will say, like the first time I hired a community manager, it was a volunteered position. I'll show you how I did that. And then as I became more successful, we made it a paid role. But I will say, like we have 2 communities that we have community managers for, and one of them is part-time. She works a few hours a week. It's less than 2, sometimes maybe the most $300 a week for her to manage a lot of the front end of our business. And it wasn't just giving her the SOPs and saying, hey, go do this. It's like actually working with this person, make sure that they're doing the correct things. You set the expectations. They know what their role is. They know when they're successful in their role. And the document I'm going to give you today is going to really help you implement that. All right. So without further ado, let me just share my screen and take you through a quick few slides, and then we'll get into, this is the document I'm going to share with you all the way. By the way, these are all our SOPs, how long each one is. Important links. It looks a little crazy, but I promise you it will make sense when I show you. So if you want that, comment, send it below in the chat. By the way, if you're watching on Facebook, there is a link in the description. If you want to come join us on Zoom, come hang out. We'll do some live Q&A once I get through this presentation. And then we'll walk you guys through some step-by-step stuff today. Okay. Very cool. Well, welcome everybody. By the way, I didn't even mention this. I'm not in my office, as you can see. Behind me is the Miami skyline, but there's a curtain blocking it. Today, last night I flew into Miami. I am going to be at dinner tonight with Grant Cardone and a very small group of people. I think there's only like 6 people in attendance, then his team, of course. But this is for the top 10 partners that promoted his Unbreakable Business Challenge. So if you're watching this and you were part of his challenge back in January, thank you. We did finish number 8 on the top 10 leaderboard. The top 10 of us are now here in Miami. We'll be at dinner tonight. Tomorrow we go to Grant's home on the beach. We got jet skis rented for the day. So stay tuned for some behind the scenes content from me on that. I'm really excited to share our mastermind and what I learned, my biggest takeaways. It's kind of crazy. It's all happening so quickly. Like last week I was in Boise with Russell and Dan Kennedy. This week I'm here at Grant, and it's just some of the best marketers in the world. And I want to bring back, because I wouldn't be here without you all watching this. So I'll bring back to you, the problem I'm looking to solve this week and the feedback I get. And then also some things I learned from other entrepreneurs' problems that they're trying to solve and the feedback that we all get from that conversation. Because that's what a mastermind's all about, right? What's the one bottleneck we want to solve in our business? What are we doing to solve it? Some suggestions, some ideas, some roadmaps, some action steps. And that'll probably be either next week or the following week's weekly training. So if you want to join these weekly trainings, just keep an eye out for my emails. We're live just about every Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. And I'm sharing in real time what's working right now. And I usually always give some assets to support that. And these are all free. This is just for me to really, I look at this block as my content creation hour. We stream this on multiple platforms and I get to test different material. I get to test different assets. I just love creating things for all of you. And even if no one watches, even if no one showed up, it's my hour block to create my content. So I want you to start looking at this as a potential solution to your content blocks. And this document I'm going to share with you today is going to help you implement exactly that. We've even thrown some additional trainings in here to help you really set up a process for this. All right, so this is my automated Facebook groups method to create new customers every single day. And we're going to give you the step-by-step process with the SOP videos. As I mentioned, today is part 3, but the document I'm going to give you has the replays to part 1 and part 2 if you missed it. You can also find it on my YouTube channel, Doug Boughton. You'll see it under the live stream tab. All right, so the goal is to really help you plan out your customer journey and build a hands-off Facebook group that will bring you customers every single day of the week. I know a lot of people say, oh, Facebook groups are dead. There's so much work. And I want to show you how I've been really successful at growing an audience and creating an entire company around that one front-end traffic source that's really hands-off for me. And it didn't start that way. I'm not going to say it's going to happen overnight, but if you implement, go line by line in the document I'm going to give you. Some of you are already doing that. And you're already up to date and you're going to be able to complete it today with part 3. It doesn't have to take you as long as it took me to figure this out. And it can be fun. It can bring you a lot of new clients that could send up your value ladder or your offer stack. So today we'll talk more about that. But I think it's really important. A lot of people say, well, my group is dead. I'll be honest, my group of 8,000 people is not the most active group in the world. I'll be honest, but it still generates leads. My goal isn't for people just to hang out in that group. Yes, they ask their questions. Yes, we do trainings. Yes, we do all the things, but it's really for them to join that community. And number 1, get on our email list. Number 2, have a conversation with them to put them in the track for the right resources, depending on where they're at in their business. And we get to find that out when they join the group. And then my immediate goal is to get them into a resource or watching trainings where they could see an opportunity to become a customer of ours, just as you guys will see today. And we do this every single week, every single day. And if you're not making any money online, you got to look at your revenue, and it's directly correlated to how many offers you're making. Your offers starting out might just be an invitation to a free resource. Maybe it's to join a community. And now you've started that connection. You started that relationship with somebody. And now it's time to shorten that cycle it takes for them to become a customer. Because sometimes when you wait and you put things off, they forget about you, oftentimes. So my goal is to help you shorten your sales cycles to create amazing connections with the people that you are here to serve. All right, so that's what today's all about. What we're going to be talking about is automating your Facebook group with a simple tool. We're going to share there's a lot more to share, but this is basically our bullets. But essentially it's part 1, setting up the group, part 2, automating. And today we're going to really focus on part 3 is delegating the things that you can't automate so you can focus on the more important things of your business, like growing it and managing it and maybe hiring a team if you don't have one, and what that looks like. There's only 5 things I do. I used to do a ton of stuff. I've narrowed down to my role as 5 things. And those are the things I can't automate, that I can't delegate. Well, I might be able to delegate, but these are things I actually love doing. They light me up. And I want to help you grow a business that looks like that as well. So we always have new people watching this. Some people find it on our profile or YouTube, or some of you guys are here for the first time on Zoom. By the way, just put new in the comments if this is your first time here on Zoom with us. If you're on the actual Zoom room on the chat, just let me know if this is your first session with us. I see a lot of familiar faces, so I don't think it is. But if you don't know me, 4.5 years ago, maybe even, about 4.5 years ago, I was a former restaurant bartender and server. I was really struggling to find a way to be successful online. I was in like year 8 of failing. I've got some posts written on my profile just from the other day about the kind of the journey there. I dropped out of college, working in a restaurant. I thought that would be a great fit for me because I just didn't want a schedule to wake up and do a 9 to 5 thing. And plus I couldn't find a job because I didn't have the degree, and I thought I'd be flexible. But what I found was I was working every day, working on doubles. The days I was off, I was picking up shifts because I wanted to pay off that student loan. And I was really interested in marketing. I just really wasn't great at it, but I was, failing forward, trying to find a way. And when I looked at all the people that were successful in online marketing after, 30 attempts of making different offers over the course of those, 7 to 8 years part-time, I finally looked at what was working, and it was focusing on one platform, one message, one offer. And that's what I decided to do. And then I looked at a lot of people I was, looking up to and learning from. They all had a community. And I launched my own community, my own Facebook group in 2019. Within 2 months, I went on to earn the ClickFunnels Dream Car Award by referring 100 people to the ClickFunnels platform. And that paid me a really great monthly recurring revenue. Plus it paid for my car, got the whole award thing. I was able to pay off my student loan debt in 6 months, went on to 18 months into this journey to full-time to get the 2 Comma Club Award, making $1 million in revenue online, which is just something I really never thought I'd be able to do. And we've gone on to way beyond that now. And it's all because of what I'm showing you today. And I've been showing you the last few weeks, which you'll get those recaps and those replays, right? So we've done 30, this should be 33 live events, live 5-day challenges. Live events, I've probably done over 100, like these single day pop-up, sessions. But I'm talking about more formal events, like multiple day events, live webinars, live challenges, which have been really the main source of where we make the offer to join our coaching program. And coming up on $3 million in revenue now, hundreds of clients, thousands of customers. And when I refer to customers, I mean like front end, low ticket. And when I talk about clients, it's our one coaching program, the Full-Time Freedom Academy. Hundreds of clients in there from this model. And without sales calls, that's like a lot of people talk about selling over the phone. And that's just something that we haven't really focused on as a team. And me, when I was alone, it was just all one event a month. I make the offer, and those who want to make a decision and come forward do. And we sell products between, to these clients you're looking at here. When I first started, it was like $1,000 for my coaching. Now we've got packages even beyond 30. We got a $50,000 package that's more done for you. We have our core offer, which is the Full-Time Freedom Academy. And it's all because of the lead generation strategies of using a Facebook community. Right. I haven't done a ton on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. We're branching out, but one platform, one message, one offer, and really dialing in the process that, again, you're going to get the SOPs for today to set this up for yourselves. So when I talk about Facebook groups, a lot of people, does that even work? It's a lot of work. I've tried that before, but when you look at it, it's my number one lead source, right? So you get free leads from, I see people running ads to their Facebook group or running ads to funnels, and some people are paying, $10 is considered good. So if you're getting, let's say 10 a day, that's 300 a month, that's $3,000 a month you could potentially not be spending on paid traffic, which is super cold, by the way, right? Just from having a method like this, right? Let me know who here want like 10 leads a day. That's 300 leads a month, ideal leads for your business, right? Sounds good. Warm outreach. You're not having to do cold DMing and all that stuff, right? We don't do that. We have conversations for the first time with people, but at this point, they're usually, aware of who I am. They've seen my content. They've joined my community. And it's a perfect opportunity to send them a quick message saying, hey, did you get the welcome email? Did you see our welcome video? Did you see our free course that we could get you access to? And just have that conversation. It's not like a brand new cold conversation that they don't know who I am. So it's really leading to warm outreach. It establishes authority. Just having a community, and as it grows, it's going to help you position yourself as someone who's staying committed and you're consistent. If I wanted to, I could reach out to, my mentors and say, hey, I've got a community of 8,000 people. Is it cool if we, collaborate? Let's do a masterclass. Let's do an interview exchange, or, a guest expert session exchange. So it really lets you become an authority very quickly. build a tribe of followers, people that want to learn from you, people that want to collaborate with you as peers, and people that maybe you want to learn from in return, like as mentors. It'll grow your email list. Maybe it's a phone list, a bot list, doesn't really matter, but there's a communication platform that allows you to communicate and get to know people better, right? Create better relationships. They'll get to know, like, and trust you. You don't need ads, and it can be easy to manage. A lot of people find it hard to manage a Facebook group because they're making it that way. And because of the things I'm going to show you, you don't have to, follow that complex situation. So when we look at our overview, this is really what we're talking about. So free traffic from Facebook. And right now we don't do a ton of the things I'm going to show you today. We started doing that, but now it's got the momentum and people are finding my Facebook community every single day. And, we get a lot of requests. We probably deny about half of the people if they don't do the questions right, or if they don't fill them out at all. If we see that they're not quite a fit for what we're doing, because we do look at who's joining. We want to protect our community. And we'll end up with like 10 to 15 people a day in that group that get on our email list, that we start conversations with, that go on to become customers. And every day we at least get a couple sales for our monthly event. They join our group. We ask the questions. We get them into our content in there, which is, having we call it a lead magnet, as most of you know. We use a free course, and that course is going to help them solve a problem that they came into that group looking to solve. We get on our email list, we have communication, and ultimately we invite them to a virtual event. And in that event, we help them solve, a few different things that they need to solve first before becoming a client of ours. So that's really our process and how we generate leads. And this could be a lot of work, but again, you don't have to make it a lot of work. Number one, I'm going to show you how to set this up. Number two, I'm going to show you how to automate the majority of it. And then number three, what you can't automate, you should delegate. And this was something I really struggled with, was when you become used to doing something on your own and you're doing everything, some of these things are hard to give up. And now I realize, like, there's 5 things I really want to be doing in my business, right? Coaching my clients, being a part of the fulfillment. I want to be creating content. I want to be live, doing these live trainings every week, something I really love doing. I want to be getting my face out there on other podcast appearances, guest expert sessions. I want to travel. Like, I'm getting to meet, Grant Cardone and his team tonight and the other top partners. I know, like, Dan Henry will be there. I think Anthony Morrison might be there. Russell's supposed to be. I don't know if he's coming or not. But it's like, these are the things I love doing. And I can't do that if I'm out here adding friends and, getting people into my community and like moderating the content if they're like spamming the group and remove. Like, that's not what we should be doing. I totally get it. You got to start there, but I want you to follow this 3-step process to get that off your plate as soon as possible so you can go do the things that you love in your business. All right. So when we look at this, my main goal, we only have really a 2-step process to get people to look at our program. Number one is they join our community. From there, if they're the right fit, we invite them to our 5-day challenge. We run this 5-day challenge every single month. We update the content, and I show up live, usually the 3rd or 4th week of the month, to present a 5-day workshop to help people build out an event of their own that's repeatable, that brings them clients one-to-many without sales calls. And that's it. So ticket to our event and an invitation to our coaching program, our one coaching program. I used to have 42 products. It was a nightmare. It was a funnel maze. It confused people. I didn't know what I was doing, so my team didn't, so my audience didn't. Now it's super simple. Community, front end ticket to our event, high ticket offer to our coaching program. Right? One funnel, no sales calls. And that's really what I'm really helping our clients do, and hoping to help all of you do as well. Some of our clients are here, by the way. I see Belinda, I see Denise. I can only see a few of your faces, but I know there's a lot more people here. So this is the document. We're going to share this with you right now. It's part 1, part 2, and today is part 3. Now, again, if you want this, head over to Facebook on my profile. Even if you're here behind the scenes on Zoom, I want you to pull up your phone or a side screen or another tab. Go to my Facebook profile, Doug Boughton, and find the live stream and just give it a heart. Comment below it. It could be #live. It could be send it, whatever you like there. Again, I'll send this link to the document over to you. So let's take a look at this document. This is what we've been building out for the last month. And I've had some people say, why are you doing this for free? Like this is something that people have told me is better than high ticket coaching programs that they've been a part of. And the truth is, I'll be honest with you, like I know if I could help you get this win, when I talk to people, one of the number one things they tell me that why they can't come work with me in the academy is because they don't have an audience and they don't have an offer to sell. And that's what we help people do. We help you take your offer, refine it, position it differently, because you have to refine and position your offer differently when you're selling that high ticket offer one to many without sales calls. So if you don't have an audience, you don't have a community, you don't have content marketing, you don't have automations, you don't have someone to help you with all of this, it's going to be really hard for you to run an event and sell your offer and fulfill on your offer. So I know if I could help you with these beginning steps and you have a few things in place, you could join our Full-Time Freedom Academy, launch your first or next signature event within weeks. And we have clients have 5 and even some 6-figure days from their first event. And then we show them a system to repeat it every single month. So these are the things I want to help you with, because I do believe, and I hope you believe this too, that if and when you get this underway, and I was the one to help you with this, you're probably going to come explore what it looks like to work with us at a higher level. All right. So step one, or part one rather, these are very short videos. I want to make these as implementable, is that a word, as possible. I want to make them action oriented. So you watch this quick Loom video, you go to the Google document to see the written process. If you need a step-by-step written process, so we have it video and written, and you're going to go through this one by one. By the way, who here's already done part one? You've named your group, you created your group, you've got the group description, all the things, setting 3 questions. I show you the entire process. So that's part one, is getting it set up. I've seen some of you do this in a day, right? This doesn't have to take you a long time. Part two was now automating it, right? How do we automate group approvals, getting them on your email list, your nurturing, your welcome email sequence, your nurturing email sequence, get them into your CRM, or which is a customer relationship management tool to track the progress, right? It's pointless if you're getting all these new leads and you're not following up or you're not staying in touch with them. You could go get 1,000 leads a day, but if you're not following up and doing the work, you're making it harder on yourself. So part two is all about that process and just making it simple and automated. All right, now part three is where we're at today. So there's gonna be some things that you can't automate. And I want you to, again, focus on the things that you really want to do in your business, which should be like working with your clients and fulfillment. Or if you have a success team, like a head of client success, like I do, maybe you're just meeting with that person. I'm still heavily involved in my program. I just love doing it. And so fulfillment is number one. And then it's content creation and running these events, my live events, and networking, like I mentioned. So find out what you want to do and then go delegate the rest of it. And this is, in my opinion, one of the first people you should hire. Obviously, I have bookkeeping and accounting taken care of. That's like a contractor thing. But my first hire was Jeremy. Jeremy's here still to this day, helping with a lot of the things in our business. But he was our first community manager, our first paid community manager, I should say. But I found volunteers from my community to help me moderate. That was really how I started, and they were honored to do it. And what I did was I looked at my community and said, who's my top contributors? And I knew them. So I'm like, hey, would you want to manage and do some of these tasks on Monday for me? It's only gonna take you an hour or two. And then I'd find the second person for Tuesday, third person for Wednesday. They'd alternate and flip things around. But they loved doing it, and they got experience doing it. And they could say that they, were a community manager, and they got that real life experience. And then eventually, as we became more successful, I made it a hired position. So by the end of today, what you're going to see are the videos broken out here. So we're going to film this live today. I'm going to trim them up for you, tell you how long each one is, just like we've been doing the last few weeks. You're going to have all the documents over here that go with each part. So my goal is for you to look at the hiring document, to hire community manager to delegate to. We're going to talk about the daily 7, where the 7 things this community manager is really focused on. Prospecting, the public, like engaging with the public, with your audience, accepting members, welcome them to the community, moderating the community, group engagement, getting them into the free resources that you have, invitation to your first front end offer. Maybe it's an event, it might be a free event, but it's still like, what's that first step for them? We don't want them just to hang out in this community forever. We want to get the momentum and come and work with you. Creating the weekly trainings, how to attract the right audience, our infinite content blueprint training. We're going to even share our simple 6x ROAS ad strategy with you if you want to do some paid traffic, scheduling content, and then we'll have the live Q&A session here. So by the end of today, this will all be here for you. We'll break out how long they are. This is probably the 3 longest lessons, but I also didn't want to just give you all this and now you have it built, and it's like, if you build it, they will come, is not true. So these 3 specific lessons here are some of our best trainings on traffic. So you can actually go build out and get some momentum here and to fill your communities. And once you have that momentum, Facebook will start suggesting your group. You'll have people, referring and talking about your group and tagging you. And that's really the goal, to really grow that community. So let's start here with our document. So once you get this, by the way, I'll drop this in the chat. Thank you guys for all of you who have shown up today. We'll put this document here on the live Zoom chat. So just open up the chat and I'll put that in there for you. Okay. Gia, if you want to just click that link, just double check that's the right one. I think it is. Okay. So that's going to open this up. And now what I want you to do is bookmark this, right? So create, I use Google Chrome, and you could have a folder called Doug Stuff. And then you could go to this document and click the star in the right corner and bookmark that and add it to a folder. That way you don't lose this, because I want you to show up to this. And if you spend 10 minutes a day doing it, awesome. If you could do an hour or 2 a day, that's even better. But commit to this, because I promise, if I lost everything, this is exactly what I would do, literally in this step, to start over again. All right, so I really want to see those of you not just showing up to these calls, but implementing it. And coming to our future calls and sharing your wins like you did this morning. All right, so let's open up. The first thing I'm going to do is talk about hiring community manager. And you could open up this document, make a copy. You could save it as well. Or if you just have this saved, you'll have it on this sheet. And this is just a blank template of getting clear on the role. And this is what we do for every role that we hire for. I'm not a hiring expert, but we've built a team of 10 now, 10 amazing people that have been with us, some from the beginning. And it's really by setting the expectations of the role and knowing what you want in that role so that they know, and they know when they're successful. So I usually write out the company vision, what's the vision of what we're doing? So they're not just bought into a role that's doing daily tasks, but a vision and company values that they could align to. Who do they report to? Do they have any direct reportees? In the beginning, probably not, but as we grow our community, we might have a community manager, assistant, or assistant manager to help that person out with some other things. Here's the roles and responsibility. So I'm just going to put, what are the things that they're doing? What are the KPIs? For us, we want to see 25 new qualified Facebook friends each day. We want to see at least 10 new qualified group members each day, and 2 new sales into our front end offer, which is our event, right? So we sell tickets to an event that we do every month. Our next one's in 2 weeks. Drop a cold to client, or C2C, letter C, number 2, letter C, C2C in the comments if you guys have been through our cold to client challenge in the past. And if some of you have been through several times, put the number of how many times you've been in. We're always changing it, so I know some of you guys have to come back and see what we're doing new. We appreciate you all coming to that event. We love running it. All right, so some days we don't hit these numbers, but for the most part we do. And if you're hitting it every day, you got to up your KPIs, right? Your key performance indicators, what is going to measure that role success. And I don't want to have 100 of those things, but these are the top 3 that we look at. What's the compensation? And again, this could be a volunteer role. Maybe it's someone that just wants the experience. And you see, when I first started my group, I looked at the top 10 contributors. I'm like, who's showing up? Who's just amazing? Who's already doing the role for me, basically without me asking? And then say, hey, do you want to do a little bit more of this, more dedicated, more formal, and we'll get some experience. You could do a trade, right? So that's the next step, is maybe let them come work with you, or you coach them, or you give them access to your offer for free in exchange. And then as you find more success, I think it's always good to compensate people and give them incentives. Do they have any reports that they're filling out to measure the KPIs and success, right? They could enter, don't make it complicated, a simple Google Sheet tracking the daily numbers, how many new group members, how many people in the free course, how many people bought the offer. And then put in like how I want them to fill this out when they're hired, like how do they know that they're being successful, right? So they might say, I can hit all my KPIs and become friends with quality leads when all the leads are listed, organized, and up to date with active people. When I have welcomed all new members with good detail about themselves. I know I'm helping the companies be successful when there are a good amount of high quality leads and we are able to make sales. I can recognize high leads that are suitable for our $97 offer, which I'll just put like XYZ offer for you, right? Because yours is going to be probably different. Communities. So I'll have links to the communities. Right now we have one that's obviously our main content creators community. So just replace that with your info. And now we're rolling out a second community today. Some of you guys are already part of that community, but it's a more exclusive community. It's for people that already have an offer, people already doing these steps that we're talking about that are ready to host an event. Maybe they already hosted events. They want to learn how to fill their events up every single month and make it repeatable. So it's a little bit more, my goal isn't to grow that community to thousands. It's help a smaller group of people that are already doing the things that our ideal clients are looking to achieve and help them go faster, right? You might have some links to important things, right? You're gonna have to have links to your free resource. So that might be your first offer, maybe a paid offer, an event, and then maybe a link to log into the CRM. So like, what important links will this role need? And then I want you to really map out, especially for the community manager, if you just tell them like to go and grow the group, like they might go add everyone and anybody and invite them to the group, and you'll end up with a group that's not your ideal fit. So really get clear on like, who is it that you work with? What's their demographic? What are the things that they're interested in? So for us, it's like business coaching. They already have a Facebook group, or they want to have a Facebook group. They have a decent following. They show signs of having an offer already created. And I say no newbies because the truth is, for someone to join my high ticket offer and they don't have anything built, it's going to be really difficult for them to host an event, right? Can we all agree? It's like, if you're going to make an event to sell a high ticket offer, you at least need an offer or an idea for an offer. So we do have resources that help, like these calls that are free. And that's why we do these to help others. So we're specific. This is specifically for like our new community and people that we're looking to help host a challenge. So people that we love to work with are already hosting events. They just want to improve that. They want to increase their show ups, their engagement rates, their completion rates, and then of course conversions to work with them beyond those 5 days, or whatever the event length is. We like 5-day challenges here. Show signs of being on video. So if someone has no video content, they're probably going to be hard to get them to the point of being comfortable on camera to host a virtual event, because it requires us to do this, right? Posting within the last 2 to 4 weeks. We don't want people that haven't posted in a year, because I don't want to help people have to figure out the whole content thing. I mean, I can, but the people that are already doing the things that we're going to help them improve are really who's ideal. So I want you to don't limit yourself. Really think about like, who would be a perfect fit? Who has the capital to invest? Who has a big enough problem willing to invest a high ticket for that, solve that problem? So that's really our document there for hiring a community manager. Now, what you could do here, I don't suggest this starting out. I always say, who do you know, right? Start with your community. If they're already familiar with your community and know how to navigate it well, like that's a perfect fit. Start there. Maybe it's somebody on your public facing profile or content. Put it out there. Put it out to your email list if you have an email list. Ask around, ask your mentors, ask your peers if they know anybody. Like, I think that's really where I would start before I go to these websites like Upwork and Online Jobs PH. And you guys probably know a few other ones. But no matter where you're seeking out to hire, make sure you fill out this document, because this is what I'm going to basically turn our job posting or create a job posting from. This is basically going to be the job posting. I'm just going to take it and position it a little bit differently. I'll make a social media post. I'll maybe put it on a Google document and just send it to a few people that I think would be a good fit. I might send it to some of my mentors or my peers and say, hey, who do you know that would be a good fit for this? And then have them simply apply. It could be a Google form that they could fill out a couple of questions. and have some communication. And again, I'm not like a hiring expert, but when I do hire somebody new, I usually tell them to reply via email and put this phrase in the email subject line, because most of them won't. And if they don't follow that simple instruction, that's going to eliminate half of the applicants immediately. And then from there, I'll ask them a few questions to respond to an email. And if they don't, like another half of that half won't, like, so 25% won't respond at all. The ones that do, now you've got some, you're narrowing it down. And then from there, I want to have at least 2 email exchanges back and forth, because that's going to get rid of another half. So now you're left with like 12% of the people that applied. And these are the people that are probably your best fit. They follow instructions, they continue to communicate and communicate well. And from there, you could probably get a feel through the conversations you're having of who's going to be a great fit, and then have the interview, right? You don't want to go, if you get 100 applicants and you go have 100 interviews, how long is that going to take? But if you do these simple few tasks to narrow it down to 12, and then probably get rid of half there, you got 6 people to meet, and then you can make a more educated decision. Maybe you give them a task that's on the role document and see who does it the best, right? It could be a paid project or something like that, or some kind of thing that they're compensated for. But my whole point is, like, really, don't just hire to hire. And then even when you do find that person, I made this mistake in the beginning of not giving them a trial. Like, hey, we're going to test this for 30 days, see how you like it, see how we like working together. And on day 30, end of the month, we will meet and we'll go over everything and see if it's a good fit. And then we can continue with something more formal. So give it like a trial run. And it's not just for you to see how they're doing, but also see if they like working with you as well, right? Because if it's going to be long-term and you spend a lot of time with your team, you want to make sure it's enjoyable. All right. So that's part 1 of just really hiring that right person. And it might not be the first person, but having a process, setting expectations, having systems in place will really empower them in their role, and will increase your chances of success in that role. All right, next part of this training is going to be the daily 7. So these are like the 7 key things that I was doing on my own in the beginning that I knew was taking up most of my day, and I can't go grow a business and enroll customers and clients and fulfill customers and clients if I'm spending my entire day doing these things, especially if this is part-time for some people. This is the stuff that I want to help you delegate immediately. Right? These are some of the things that we can't quite automate. You could automate some of them, which I go over part 2, but the daily 7, the link is here to the sheet. I'm just going to open this up. It's very simple. You might change some of these, but here's what it looks like. Every day, our community manager goes and connects with 25 new friends. They accept friend requests. They delete old friend requests that I don't want. They know our avatar. So if they don't meet that criteria, they're not going to accept the friend request. We're reaching out to people that are, engaging with our content that we might not be connected to. We're in other communities. Again, this is a lot of stuff that people teach that takes the time. It's very manual, but it doesn't have to stay that way. Like, to be honest, we probably don't need to continue to do this, but I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to reach more people. I know that we can't just do all inbound, but this is really effective for us, and I don't have to do it. So 25 friends, engage with that friend list, meaning like all these new friends, like we have a way to put them on a specific list, and we're going through and engaging with their content. Because I want to, number 1, look at their profile for accept them as a friend. If they don't have any content, they're not meeting that criteria, we're not going to accept, we're not going to add them. But if we do see them as a fit, and maybe it's a potential collaboration, it doesn't always have to be a sale, right? That's not the goal of this. Like, who can I learn from? Who can I be inspired from? Who can I collaborate with? And who can I help? And we don't know right away what bucket they fall into until we get to explore who they are and what they're about and have a conversation. A lot of people just go and send a message with a link, and it's like, you don't even know. Maybe that person's way beyond you in life and business, and you could actually learn from them. So it's really about engaging and seeing what they're all about. And when you engage with them and their content, it's not saying send them a message, it's engage with their content. Because when you do that, they're going to see your stories more likely pop up, your reels, they're going to see your social media content, they're going to see your groups appear. Facebook, they know that you're connected, and they're going to start suggesting your group, suggesting your content to them. Third thing of each day is to post our content to the profile, right? So I have a backlog of content. They'll go in and post that content for me, and then they'll manage the comments and, make sure that whatever, we usually have a call to action. And I know every comment that we respond to takes a lot of time, but we can have someone take that off our plate. And it's a call to action to a free resource or to join our community, which a lot of our content does. We make that happen. And some of that is automated in part 2. I went over that. The next one is to post and comment in other communities. So I think the problem people make with this is their intention is to go and sell. They join communities to go and sell communities. And it's like, if you just went in there to, obviously, like, we got to make sales to stay in business. But if you keep, like, right now, we're all here, I'm hopefully providing value. And I love doing that because I think it always will come back to you. I want you to go out and do the same thing in the communities you're a part of. How can you serve that community to the point where, like, sometimes if you do this in a certain way, the owner of that community will be like, all right, this is a spammer. But if you actually do it with the intention of providing value and solving problems and contributing, you're going to get their attention in a good way. They might say, hey, I've been seeing what you're doing. Like, do you want to come and, do a training for our community? Do you want to do an interview with our community? Because you're making their job easier. So we have our community manager go into a few communities that we know our ideal avatar is hanging out in, and we'll ask questions, we'll answer questions. And most of the time, I'm not even posting in those groups. I'm just showing up in the comments. I think that's a better approach. I like that more personally, just answering the questions I see that I can't answer and give some value to. And then right here, the next part of this is messaging, managing the leads and the follow-up, because you are going to get messages. You're going to get people commenting on your content that are asking for your resources and asking to join your community. So it's important to have that connection point. So the 5th part of the daily 7 is to have those conversations. And then this one's really important, top-down follow-up. If all we did was focus on prospecting, like adding friends, starting new conversations, and you don't actually follow up on the conversations that are already more, closer to the goal of where you want them to go, then we're making it harder on ourselves. So top down, to me, it looks like this. Let's see, if I'm starting my day and I'm working top down, I'm going to work with my clients first, right? They're the ones who are in the coaching program. They get my priority. From there, I'm going to go and work with the people that have become customers. They've bought front-end offers. They've joined our challenges. I want to check in with them, see how they're doing, see if there's anything that I could help them with and get them to the point where they're wanting to go to that next step with us. From there, I'm going to go to our most engaged group members and our most engaged audience members, commenting on our profile, commenting on our content. And then from there, I'm going to go to our friend requests and see, basically kind of start over here in the beginning. And then from there, go to the groups of where I don't know people. So that's really top down. Who is closest to the outcome that you're looking for, and start your days there. Don't just start and continue to add friends and all those kind of things. And my goal for you is to outsource all of this so you can go focus on better ways to grow. Because honestly, this is, everything's going to be work, right? There's no easy path. But when you enjoy doing it and you do the things that you enjoy, like for me, it's let me go get on a group coaching session for a mastermind and go teach my expertise. And now I've got an audience of 100 people watching live, and I give them a free resource. I just, in 1 hour, did what probably would have taken a month. So when you start getting this outsourced, what I'm showing you today, you could go get interviews, go get guest expert sessions, go to in-person events, virtual events, things like that, that will help you grow a lot faster. So that's the daily 7. This sheet will help you simply track. So every day, week 1, week 2, 3, 4, you can make a copy of this for each month if you want, or you just refresh it. And there's some other tabs here I'm not going to go into, but we've got some really good examples for you. I think we have all the different content stories and examples here for you. You could go look at past content that's really worked well for us. But ultimately, it's follow the daily 7. That's what this sheet really is about, and checking them off every day. So if you're managing this role, you could go look and say, hey, I saw you didn't check off the box. And you might have to work with this person for a few weeks to make sure that they're doing things the right way. No one's going to solve your problems in your business. You can't say, hey, here's the SOPs, go do it. You're really going to have to work with people. And there will be a point where they don't have to follow the videos anymore. They don't have to be micromanaged or anything like that. Let them run because they've figured it out because you've trained them right. So that is the daily 7. Now, as far as prospecting goes, like, yes, your group will start to be suggested on Facebook, but it's not just going to happen. You're not just going to have magically 15 to 20 people every day that are qualified leads coming to find your group. It takes, you have to build up some momentum. And for me, I'll show you guys my community. And if we go back to our guide section, I actually document my entire journey in this community and the evolution of it. And if I go back here and look at some of our firsts, we hit 500 members in a month. We hit 1,000 members in 38 days, 2,000 members in 59 days. And I kind of talk about like my first mentor, my first speaking gig, my first leaderboard, just documenting a lot of my firsts, my first in-person event, so on and so on. So I just documented my journey. I wasn't the expert. I just created a community that I could provide value to. And I think there's more value in your story, which every one of you has a story. You might not have results, you might not have the confidence, you might not have the belief, but you all have a story that other people will resonate with, and document that in a private community, and then start finding out what they need, go solve those needs and create resources. And that's what this is really all about. So when we get into the prospecting portion of this, a lot of people make the mistake of going to like the most red ocean, which means like it's a frenzy. And when you think about who your ideal person is, so if I go back and look at like our our people, I'm not going to like the obvious thing that most people do is like, ClickFunnels, they get a lot of good people. I'm gonna go to their group and start spamming people and asking them to join my group and sell to them. That's a horrible idea. What you want to do is like, okay, my ideal avatar is 25 to 45. I know it's a big range, but that's the truth of it. But business coaches that have Facebook groups, where are they hanging out? They're running events. What are they doing? What are they interested in? Right? I know that most business coaches are also big into personal development. Right? What are they trying to optimize? Maybe it's their sleep, right? I wear this Aura ring. I'm like, oh, let me go join the Aura ring community. And I know people, if they care enough about their sleep to measure the data on a ring, they're gonna be a good fit, right? Because it shows discipline. Maybe it's people in fitness groups. So think outside the box and figure out what are their interests, what are they doing, join those communities and have an actual interest in that community. Like I am interested in the things that I just mentioned. So I go in there and I ask questions, I provide value and insights, and I get known in a community. And what most people do is they'll go join 10 communities, and you can't possibly like show up to 10 communities powerfully. Pick 2 or 3 and go in there for 5-10 minutes a day and just say hi to people and engage and ask questions. And I promise you, they're going to add you as a friend. They're going to come look at your profile. They're going to see a link to and if you guys go through the setup phase, I should talk about this. They're going to come find your group. They're going to join your group and they get on your email list, have conversations, and discover which bucket they fall into. Or could they be a mentor? Could they be a peer and a collaborator? Or can they be someone that learns from you? And that's really what prospecting is. It isn't selling. It isn't spamming. It's connecting and building friendships and relationships. And you really should want to do this every day. A lot of people I don't want to prospect. That's because you're looking at it as a sales and a spammy thing. You don't want to feel that way, right? So if you start looking at it, I want to go meet 5 people today, and I'm excited about that. And I want to find people that have, common interests, like, well, where are they hanging out? And just make a practice of that. So every day, when I look at that community, I show you the results of what I was able to achieve here and get to, was it 2,000 members in less than, what did I say, 2 months or something like that? 2,000 members in, 2 months. I did that because I was spending an hour every day in several communities where I knew that people that were struggling with the problem I solve were hanging out. And naturally, they would come seek out my profile, read my content, add me as a friend, and join my community. So that's really my idea of prospecting in a nutshell. If you want to get a little bit technical here, let me just show you guys a couple of things that could be really helpful for you. So if I go to our friends list, right? So if you go to the menu, go to friends, you'll see that I have custom lists. And one specifically is called marketers. So everyone that adds me as a friend or that I send a friend request to, when they accept my friend request or I accept theirs, I'm going to add them to the marketers list. And right now, I don't know why it's loading slowly, but there's a reason I do this, because I could go to this list and instead of like looking at all my friends, I could go in and go to each of their profiles and say, hey, when's the last time I connected with Daniel? Let me go to his profile and show some love over there and comment on his content. Because the more I do this, again, the more that they're going to be likely to see your content, end up in your community, end up on your list, end up having conversations with you. And it's more of a connection than it is like a prospect. Okay. So, but the second reason I do this is because when I create content for the first hour, when I make a post on my profile, and someone trying to sell me organic marketing, just like yesterday, was like, I was going to sell you organic marketing strategies, but it looks like you do pretty well. I'm like, yeah, we probably teach similar things, because he saw like this, like 500 something comments, and like, oh, here we are live. This one's still kind of going. I posted 4 hours ago, but if you look at like these, I do pretty well, but it's because I've been consistent in doing these things. But I'll show you really why I believe that a lot of these posts do as well as they do, right? It's because I first show this post to specific list, which is the marketers list. So if I'm gonna go make a post here, I'm not gonna show it publicly, because if you have a lot of friends and family and people that just aren't interested in the topics you're talking about, and Facebook shows it to 100 people and only like 2 of them are your niche, Facebook's going to say that's a crappy post and I don't want to show it to more people. But in truth, it's a great post. It's just shown to the wrong people. So if I'm talking about marketing and business, I'm going to just show it to my marketers list, right? And hit save. I'm going to make that post, because now out of 100 people that they're going to show it to, a good amount of them are going to be interested in that, engage with it. And now it's going to say, wow, this is a good post. And they're going to show it to more people on that friends list. I give it about an hour or two. Once I see it's kind of slowing up in engagements and comments, that's when I'll go in, or now my community manager will go in and make it public. So every day we post, that's what we do. And now what Facebook is going to look at is, who are all the people commenting on this? And can we show it to more people like these people? What do they have in common? And they're going to push it out. And I don't know the algorithm perfectly, but this is what I assume is happening. And I think it's a pretty good educated guess. And then from there, it's likely to go even further and find people that don't even know who you are, aren't even connected to you, and more likely to engage, become a friend, become a group member, join your free resources, and become a customer. So that's really I won't say an advanced strategy, but I think some of you guys know that I've taught that to. Maybe you learned it from somebody else, but are you putting into practice? That's why I always repeat it, because we do that every day, right? Every day that we post, at least. So that's a little bit on prospecting. Next is public engagement, right? So this is engaging with content in other communities, your own communities, your profile. So another reason why some of this content does really well is because if you look, and we're going to come back and engage with all of your comments today, like let's look at this one. A few more comments, right? I pretty much respond to every single person. And sometimes, yeah, this is most of the time, I'll say this, most of the time when I write a post, I spend at least 30 minutes engaging with all the people that comment, and then I get some support. Or I always try to do my best, but I'm not going to make a full day out of just responding to comments, because I want to come teach all of you, and I want to go teach my clients, and I want to go to mastermind events and virtual events. So, but it is important, because when you respond and have conversations, it's going to boost it out even further, right? So that's what I mean. It's pretty self-explanatory about public engagement, but it's not just posting for posting's sake. It's like, have the conversations, and it will increase your engagement. They'll see, people will see more of that. They'll push it out to bigger audiences. Now, accepting group members, again, having a ideal avatar mapped out. You guys have a copy of mine. Don't just take mine. Like, really think about this. Like, who is your, if you are teaching events, cool, this would be a great fit for you. But if you're like, really think about who you're helping, and spend some time on this. What are their interests? Where are they hanging out? And this takes time to train a community manager on. Sometimes I'll look at like people I got to my group. I'm like, hey, maybe they slipped through, but like this person didn't answer the questions. They don't even have a profile photo. They have no content. Like, why do we accept their friend request? Why are they in our community? I'm not trying to be rude here, but we got to protect our people. People are making fake accounts all the time, and we could spot them a mile away. Some of them are good and it's hard to see, but I want to really make sure that when we're accepting friends to our community, we're really taking a look at these things. And I don't know if we have any requests right now, because I think our community manager already did some of this today. But like, for example, I'm sorry if you're watching, Renz, but like, no chance, dude. Like, no photo. This is exactly what I mean. Like, not filling out the questions. Like, there's no way I'm going to work with this person. Another big pet peeve of mine is, I'm sorry to also offend this person, but 117 groups. If you're in 117 groups, what kind of, I just can't imagine this person's going to come bring any value to my community. And be aware, like, how many groups are you in? Because sometimes, like, when I started thinking of this, I'm like, how many groups am I in? And over the years, I was in a lot. So I've left a lot of the communities that I wasn't even showing up to, because now I could see more content published by those communities that I actually want to see. And I was probably thinking like, well, if I'm thinking this about people joining my group and someone sees I'm in 300 groups, what are they going to think of me? So if you are seeing this, go take a look at how many groups you're in. But yeah, these are just, I want people that are going to show up, implement the things that we're teaching and contribute to the community in an effective way. So now, if I were to approve these people, we do use something that we use for automation, which I'm not going to go into too much detail on because it's all covered here, right? Automating your approvals. So this is going to be going more into that. But with one click of a button, when I approve my group members, they get accepted to the group, they get automatically put in our email list, and they get tagged with our CRM. And there's a lot of other cool things that happen that we explain in part 2. From here, we're going to get into welcome post. This is something that we do a little bit different. Maybe some of you have seen this because you joined our community, but when like you have new group members that you have to welcome, and it's like they just tags your name and say, hey, welcome to the group, right? So if I do this right now, write welcome post, and I hit post, this is what most people do. They just hit post. And I'm like, how boring. So I want to do a pattern interrupt. I wanted people to join our community and know immediately that we're a little bit different here. We want to get to know you. We want to know, are you a potential mentor for me? Are you someone I could learn from? Or are you someone I could collaborate with? Or are you someone that wants to be learning from us and we could help you get ahead in a certain area? And I don't know that unless I go explore and show you that I explored and know who you are. So what we've done is, what I'll do, I'll just do this for you guys right now. So we're going to take Danny for an example. And this is how I craft my welcome post. It takes time, but right, anything with good intention takes time. So let me go to this group. And I used to do this myself. Now, obviously, our community manager helps me with it. So I'm going to go to my members and I'm going to find Danny. We're going to go find Danny here. I'm going to learn a little bit more about Danny. I'm going to copy this photo. I'm going to go back to that post, hit enter. I'm going to paste the photo. All right. I'm going to do this for every single person. So when I make this post, they're like, whoa, this guy took the time to go like post my photo. But not only that, like, the problem with this situation is I can't see a ton about Danny, but I like to highlight and introduce him to the audience. All right, let's see. I help online. So I would do something like this. And Danny, it doesn't say where he's from. I usually say Danny's from blank, which I can't tell. I'm not sure where Danny's from, but I would say Danny's from so, and he's from this area. And I'm going to say Danny helps online coaches scale by creating content. Yeah, right. So I'll just like put something like that. Just what can I find out about them? It'll be longer if I can. And I'm going to keep doing this for every single person. And then I'm going to hit post. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to take that time, but you guys get the point. What I'll do though is I'll show you an example of a post. And my goal is for them to see this, whether they don't engage or not, that's okay. Like, we don't get a ton of engagement on that, but I know that when they see this, it stands out, right? So it's like, hey, welcome, start here. And then we're going to welcome some friends. Step 1, add our weekly calls to your calendar. Step 2, we want you to go live, introduce yourself, right? And then go here. So when they click here, it's going to bring them to our guide 1 tab, so they could actually watch our welcome video and do their first task. They're going to get email follow-up that's automated to go and watch the welcome video and do the first task. And not everyone does this. If it were up to me, I would make everyone do it. But those who do become our customers. So we're going to pay a lot more attention to the people that are following instructions, because those are the people that are going to be coachable and take action and get results and will become ideal clients, right? So, when you say your group is dead, don't focus on the dead people. Don't focus on people not following instructions. Go focus on the people following instruction, doing the work, because I promise you, you don't need a ton of them. You don't need a ton of them. So that is welcome post. Now, moderating, we don't have to talk too much about moderating, right? If they do something wrong, you have clear rules for your community, set up your rules for your community. If people violate those rules, you could say, hey, don't do that again. Or you could just, it's your community, do what you want. You could, if it's something offensive, like gone, right? You know what would qualify as that, but it's for you to really put things in place to protect your community and make sure everyone's following and abiding by the rules. So moderating is just showing your community manager what are the rules. And that's another thing, like your community manager will not know what's allowed, what's not allowed. So have a very specific list written out. Like, we don't want people without our permission posting links, and even certain posts that might not have links that are having call to actions that we didn't approve aren't allowed. So that might look it will be harmless to a community manager that doesn't know that's not allowed. So it's really setting the expectations for the community manager and making sure that they go through your community and scan each day. And there's actually some automations or some cool stuff Facebook is doing now to make sure that things don't even get posted. What most group owners will do is make their community submit a post and get approved. You have to manually approve it. I don't like that, because to me, that's not community. That's like communism. Like, I want people to feel free if they know they have to submit a post. Like, there's groups I'm a part of where I leave because I'm like, oh, I have to send a post and get submitted, and it takes days. Like, I'm not going to even bother. So I'm not going to put that limitation on my group, but I give them the benefit of the doubt, and we're pretty strict. Like, one offense, depending on who you are, we might be like, okay, this person, they should know better. But if it's something that I don't see any value that person providing, or I'm just going to remove them, right? Because some people sneak past. We have very little spam, I will say. We're lucky because of, I believe, how we welcome people, how we really look at profiles and we're scanning. I think it's really important. If they don't answer the questions, big red flag, no. So we don't see a ton, but there's still people that, go in and post things they shouldn't. But moderating, pretty self-explanatory. I would say the most important thing here is just setting out a list and being very specific with what you want to see more of in your group and rewarding that behavior, and what you don't want, and coming up with the offenses and, like, do you block them immediately? Do you remove them, and all that stuff. Group engagement, pretty self-explanatory. Again, these are simple things, right? Community management is not difficult, but I want them to engage with our new members. If we're not engaging, they're not going to come back. So when people make a post, when people comment, welcome under the welcome introduction, or say thank you, or they do their intros, I want to make sure that we're engaging with that. We're commenting, we're liking, we're tagging people in different things. So community engagement is just, at least for a little bit each day, having them go in, look for any new content, look for any new group members commenting on our welcome photo video, on our resources and assets, and looking out, because this is a lead opportunity. It's an opportunity to answer questions, get into a conversation, and see how we can help one another. I'm going to change this from free gift to free resource. I mean, I guess it's a free gift, right? But your community should have a free resource. When I first started, we had our free sales funnel mastery course, and most of the people were coming to my group because they knew I had this resource. Why? Because other people were sharing it and talking about it. And that's how we grew to 2,000 members in 2 months. So I had it on my cover photo. I had a free resource, get this when you join my community. I had it in my marketing. I had it all over. And to this day, it works so well. We still have this. We have our 6-figure challenge toolkit. And that free resource is hosted in our community. Now we've come up with other ones. It can be easy to create a lot of things, but find one that works and just stick with it. So for our sold out virtual events community, the free resource is our sold out virtual events free course. We're going to show you a few traffic strategies to fill out your virtual event, how to sell out your tickets or fill that free event if it's a free event. Now, what we do with this free resource, let me just show you two different communities here again. Number one, if you look at the featured section, here is a post that promotes our six-figure challenge toolkit. So I created a new masterclass that I sold for $197, teaching how I earned six figures in 5 days without, let me see what this says here, without ads. Who wants it for free? So, right, so they're commenting on it. And this is a post that most people will come in because when they see our group, it's the first thing they see. They're going to comment on this. Now we get to send them a message saying, hey, thanks for asking for that resource. Is it cool if I send you over? Do you want me to email it to you, or do you want it here in Messenger? By the way, like, what attracted you to that resource? Like, what are you looking to accomplish with that? What kind of problems are you finding with the current solution that you're trying? And then you develop a conversation, develop a relationship, and it's a lot easier than cold DMing. Like, they want the thing, right? We also have, a training here with like our workbook, our content workbook. So it's just having different trainings up here. So we have multiple, but you want at least one hype post and then one post where they could actually, grab that freebie, especially if you're advertising on your cover photo. So when they join, like, make it easy for them to find that thing and get them into it. With our free courses, we have, I think, some sophistication here. When you join our challenge toolkit, for example, those of you who have joined that resource, you know that you're going to get into a new email sequence that's going to send you daily emails to make sure you're implementing it. We're tracking your progress. We know how far you are. We know if you never opened it. We're probably not going to bother with those people. Like, I don't want those type of clients in my program. If we're going to give you something valuable and you're going to do nothing with it, we don't want to work with you. But for the people that are doing the work, especially people that finish our free course in less than 3 days, like, we're going to reach out. Like, you are an action taker. We know we could get you amazing results. We know we'd like to work with you for the most part. That's usually always true. So we're looking at these things, and in that free resource, not only is there automations in place and outreach in place, but we have links inside of that course area to our next step. Again, the whole purpose of this community isn't to have a big community and people just hanging out. But let's get them to that next step ASAP. What's that next step for you? What's that first offer? It could be a strategy call to get them into a program. It could be a front end offer. It could be a monthly recurring offer. It could be an affiliate offer. It could be done for you service. Like, what is that next step? Well, for us, it's our 5-day challenge. We know that if we get you to a 5-day workshop, we can move very quickly. We can get you results. And when we get you those results, you're likely to come and join our Full-Time Freedom Academy. So that's really all what we're doing with both of these communities. Is that next step for many is to get them into our monthly event. So that's really what the free resource is all about. So I know I talked about the free resource here. And then last but not least is the invitation to become a customer. We want to get them free resources. You can be like many groups out there and just get them on a call and sell them, right? I just don't want to be that person. For me, it's never felt, I guess, I don't know how I feel about it, but I think I've always led with value. You guys could tell, like, I love doing this. From day one, I served the ClickFunnels community with a free course called Sales Funnel Mastery that gave them my templates. It gave them a lot of success. And then from there, they signed up to ClickFunnels with me. They joined the One Funnel Away Challenge. I didn't have my own offers, but they chose me because of the way I showed up to provide value. And nobody likes to be sold to. Right. And good salespeople know we're not trying to sell. We're trying to get them to really see the value themselves and make the decision and have that epiphany on their own through stories, through analogies, through, tough conversations. But really, that's what my free stuff does. It's like, let's get them to see the problem in a different way, see the solution that we provide, and the process that we know is going to help them save time, money, and energy, and then have an invitation to our first offer, which for us is the Cold to Client Challenge. So all of our conversations, all of our content, All of our free resources are to invite them to become a customer for our event. And those of you who have been through our communities and you've been through our emails and you've been through our free resources, like even today, there's going to be an opportunity to become a customer, because I know that's the next logical step to help all of you who want to get more clear on your audience, more clear on your offer, more clear on how to enroll and make your lead, enroll your leads to become customers and clients, which is the purpose of business, to serve. Then this is the most logical next step for you. And if anything, right now, I know a lot of you have all of this. You might feel overwhelmed, like this is a lot to do. Don't look at all of this. What you're going to do is come up here and say, boom, here, start here. And you're going to look at this one video. Don't go to the next video until you finish this video. Take you 15 minutes, maybe a few minutes of implementation. These are all designed for action. Now, if you are at the point where you're like, I don't even know what to name my group, like, well, my event can help you. Day 1 and day 2, it's all about getting clarity in who you serve, the offer you can provide to solve the problem. And then at least now you got the ball rolling. You might not leave my 5-day event with your signature virtual event all built out and an offer to sell and ready to go and scale. But if we could just get that, imagine if you come to my 5-day event and we just help you get your audience dialed in, the marketing message, know what problem you're solving for them so you can communicate that and then build the offer that they want to solve that problem. A lot of people accomplish that in our 5-day training. And then from there, the next logical step is to create the offer and then find a way that I believe is the easiest way to fill that offer is by having a signature event, right? Get them some massive wins and then make the invitation, like I'm going to show you here in a moment, publicly without sales calls, and just say, hey, here's what it is. If you would like this solution and you want to do it this way in this time frame, then this is a great fit. And the best people, the best customers, the best clients are going to be the ones that take you up on it. If you have to go get on a call to convince somebody and all that stuff, like how are they going to show up in your coaching program? Are they going to be action takers or are they going to be lurkers? And we all know lurkers will drain you dry. And there's way more action takers out there that are waiting for you. So don't focus on that other stuff, right? Let them prove themselves to you and be the client you wish to attract. Right? You all here watching this live are like, you're here doing the work. Like this isn't something simple. Now, next steps, what's going to happen here? I do have some more trainings here. We linked here, traffic strategies, because I want you to grow this community. We have free organic traffic strategies. We have some paid traffic strategies, and I'm brand new to ads, but this one's got a 6x return on investment, return on ad spend, which is crazy. And there's going to be a lesson here for that when you're ready. And then schedule and content, and then we're going to do a live Q&A session here after our invitation. But schedule and content, by the way, this is simple. This is going to be the last part of this video that we're going to chop up, and we'll put this in here for you today. Schedule and content, this is where like you could really simplify your content creation process. This is a post, right? I go to schedule date, posted on Monday, I'm about a time, and now this is scheduled, right? Just hit schedule. And you could do this, and you don't have to put a ton of content, you guys. In reality, for my 2 communities, besides streaming live into my group every week, which again, I don't consider that part of the group effort. It's like, this is me creating my content for the week and get to hang out with all of you. Even if you weren't here, I'm still creating my content for the week. But we stream it live into our communities. So that's really the only content I do create, and I'm creating it anyways. And it rolls out in all of our repurposing, and it's going to become a blog post and a YouTube video and all this other stuff. But when I look at keeping the group engaged, I want to ask engagement questions. So the easiest way to schedule content is like, what's one question you could ask every Monday for the rest of the year to your group that they're going to want to answer? So if I'm working with people like group owners, I'm going to say, like this coming Monday, hey, what's the name of your Facebook group? The next Monday after that, how long have you had your Facebook group? 3, what's the name of your Facebook group? 4, hey, drop your link to your group below, join at least one other group, and then let people know why they should join yours. So you see where I'm going with this? I could come up with 52 questions right now and have a year's worth of content, schedule it every Monday for the next year. I'm hands off with that. It takes me an hour or 2 most, or you get your community manager do this, and you got your group content done. So that's kind of what I meant by scheduling. You could schedule to your group. And I believe I did see you could schedule to your profile now too, which is really cool because that never used to be a thing. All right, so that is it. That is our step 3. And again, you might start doing this on your own just to learn the process. But as soon as you can, find that volunteer, find that person that I want to do a trade, find that person that you could afford to pay, part-time or full-time if you're ready for that. Some of you already have a team. Maybe you already have someone you're going to put them into this training. You're like, hey, go do these things. We're going to work together to make this happen. And now you've got everything set up. Part 1, you've got your automations, part 2, and part 3, you have your delegation. And we'll make sure you should have this sheet already. If you don't, just send us a message, comment below. We'll make sure you get this. Keep an eye out. By the end of today, we will have all the videos broken down into digestible action steps here for you. We'll say how long it is, and we'll give any resources we mentioned here in this column. Cool. What do you guys think? We talked about a lot, you guys, especially if you've been here for the last few weeks. What is your number 1 takeaway in the chat? I'd love to hear some takeaways real quick before we get into the invitation and then the Q&A session. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. How do we get your free stuff? You're watching. What do you mean, Nadia? How do you get, if you're asking for the asset, well, you got to come to Zoom. We're not just gonna, I know this. I know people that come to Zoom, you show up, cameras on, you spend an hour with me a week, like you're going to take action. If you're watching on Facebook, come join our Zoom sessions. There's a link above to come on these every single Thursday. Because I know if I just give it to people, I don't want this to pile up as another lead magnet, because that's not what this is. It's like, this is a SOP. This is stuff that people don't even do in their high ticket programs. I'm giving to you guys for free. I'm not seeing everybody, but I've been a part of a lot of programs. I've never seen people create this kind of resource for me in those programs. And this would have been very helpful for me. So I'm always looking at like, what would the audience that I'm serving need? And how can I create that process for them and how can I shortcut their path, basically? SOP stands for standard operating procedure. Candy's number 1 takeaway is a daily 7. Can I delegate those? Absolutely. Terry, yep. Oh, thank you, Terry. Belinda says, group your contacts for messages. David, yeah, okay, there we go. Terry says, biggest takeaway is working smarter, not harder by dialing in your avatar. 100%, 100%. Yep. Perfect. Thank you, guys. All right. So the last part of this, I just want to make a quick opportunity. Who here hasn't been to my Cold to Client challenge? Just say never been, or no in the comments, or no in the chat real quick. And it's okay. But I want to talk more about this because in truth, like my main goal, obviously I want to see you go implement this, but I know some people are going to be stuck at even step 1 of naming your community. Who's this group for? What's my offer going to look like? What's my first offer? So what I want to do is just talk about my 5-day event. It's coming up on May 22nd, and it's our Cold to Client 5-day challenge. If you've been through this in the past, we love seeing you come through it again. You're probably already part of that community. You can just come through that. But if you want to join us on the VIP sessions behind the stage, then you'd get another ticket. And I promise you the hot seat I'm going to give you, the audit, the feedback, the additional resources. Like you guys see what I give you guys for free. Imagine what I could do when you actually become a customer. Again, I focus my priority on our clients and then our customers, and then you here in our free trainings. So I want you to, it's not about the money it costs to go to the event. It's just showing me that you're committed. And that's what my attention gets attracted to. If you're committed, I reward the action takers. And when you buy a ticket to our event, it shows that commitment to me, so I can show more commitment to you. So our next challenge is May 22nd. Some things that you get from signing up to this 5-day event. I'm going to talk about what that event is, what you're going to get out of it. We're going to give you another checklist. This is our checklist specifically to help you get your offer refined and positioned and created so you could go run your own virtual event, whether it's a 1-day event, 2-day, 5-day, doesn't really matter what the event looks like. But your event is to help you do something like this, where you get people value, get them some momentum, and make an offer one-to-many without sales calls to enroll new customers and clients to your business. So we're going to help you with that checklist and get that set up so you can do this. And not just do it once. We're talking, because this is work. I'm going to tell you, like, it's work to create an event, but our event now pretty much runs itself. I used to, we do it every single month, by the way, and I just get to show up, and you guys can tell I like to talk. So I show up one week out of the month for an hour a day. I'm here running our 5-day event. And I love it because I get to meet new people. I get to see amazing action takers getting amazing results and really feeling out who's going to be a good fit to work with us for the long haul, like our 6-month program. And it's not for everybody, but I believe that this event shows us the true people that we're meant to work with and work with us in return and get results for. So bonus number 2, we're going to give you a 6-figure event masterclass. So we've done this event 33 times for the last few years, every single month. I've learned a lot. We've optimized our funnel 33 times. We've optimized our data, looking at what's working. And we've got this event where it now makes 6 figures every time we run this event without sales calls. So in this toolkit, you're going to get our toolkit. It's like the pre-work. You get this as a bonus for signing up to our event. This alone is worth the cost of admission. I promise you. There's resources in there. There's templates and things like that. So that's exactly how we're able to do this, and we help you do it as well. Right. So you go to the funnel. In the funnel, you'll get more information. You'll see some cool testimonials of people that have been through our event and hear some nice things that they had to say about it. Ultimately, you'll join, and here's what happens. You're going to get into the Facebook group. We have a private community. You could join today. I know we have 2 weeks to start, but there's some pre-work in there for you to get started. Go meet the other people that are signing up for our event. Get to know each other. Like, just the networking alone to be in this kind of container is next level. But day 1, we're going to talk about the number 1 mistake of client acquisition. And most people are complicating sales. So I want to help you uncomplicate your sales process and learn how to make sales without having to pay to run ads or without having to get on sales calls. So we're going to lay the foundation on day 1 and show you the overview, talk about what the goal is for you, and show you basically the framework of how building a signature event for your business will change everything and get more clients, ideal clients, with way less stress. Day 2, we're going to jump into how to shorten your sales cycles, your client acquisition, basically the time frame that you take someone cold that doesn't know who you are and get them to become a client. For us, that used to be like 90 days on average. And now it's like we could do that in days using this event model. So I want to help you implement that too. Day 2 is all about your audience and your offer. I want to make sure you're clear on exactly, even if you have an offer that's being like really successful already, you're going to have to reposition it differently and refine it a little bit differently when it comes to selling one-to-many and making an invitation publicly like I'm doing right now. So I want to help you with the framework of that. Day 2, you're going to get clear on your offer. If you have no idea or too many ideas, this day has helped people leave this event with clarity that they haven't been able to achieve in years. And they've said this to me because I know I've been through this in the past too. It took me 8 years to get clear on my offer. I know it's like kind of embarrassing, but it happens. And I want to help you do this in a day. It doesn't like when you go through this framework, it's going to help you get very clear. Day 3 is how to position your event. Like, how do you set up an event? What is the topic you want to talk about? What do you talk about each hour or each day of your event? How do you structure the content? What's too little? What's too much? Right? What's the goal of each day? We're going to help you come up with your topic, your name, your taglines, and lay out your daily agendas and action steps for your event. Once you have this, by the way, the hardest work is done. Now you just got to go and put this on your funnel, put it in your content. You're going to create your slides from this. We're going to give you a lot of the assets to help you do that. All right. Day 4 is now filling your event. So if you've done events before, if we've learned that running an event every month, it can be challenging to get new people to it every month, because guess what? You have to continue to grow an audience. You have to continue to nurture your existing audience. And I want to help show you the lowest hanging fruit, like the easiest way to get people to buy a ticket to your event. Not just the first one or the next one, but how to do this every single month, or at minimum every quarter, and fill it every single time you do it. Day 4, we're going to show you how to get the traffic without ads. We'll talk a little bit about ads, but you don't need to pay for ads to make this happen. And then day 5, the most important thing is if you're going to host an event and go through this process, the event is designed to create customers or clients. So I want to talk about how you make that invitation, how you structure the opportunity to work with you, next steps, your offer, like stacking the offer in a way that makes it a lot more valuable. So day 5 is all about that process. All right. So plus, if you guys haven't been through our workshop before, one thing that makes us a little bit unique, like you might have heard of 5-day challenges, like, oh, it's just going to be a big pitch. No, that's not the case here. Like I want you to get results, whether you decide to work with us or not. And I should say, if we decide to work with you, because it's honestly where we don't just, there's people that want to work with us. And we're like, it's not a fit. And that's okay. We'll talk about how it can become a fit, but I'm not really worried about anyone in this room right now. But we have fun with this. So the thing that makes it a little bit different is that we hold you accountable. How many people have signed up to an event before? You paid $100, $200, $300 for an event, and you just didn't do the work. Well, we do some things here that really hold you accountable. And if you don't show up, we're going to call you out in a nice way and refund you. We don't want the money. Like, it's not about that. We want you to implement, take action, get results. We put you on teams. You don't have to be on a team, but when you're on a team and you have accountability partners, you're going to network, you're going to collaborate, you're going to have a chance to win some epic prizes for the winning top 3 teams. And it makes it fun and it holds you accountable. So we're going to help you actually leave this event with results. So what you're getting for this 5-day challenge coming up on May 22nd, our cold to client challenge, really designed to help you turn your cold audience into clients in days, not years. You're going to get 5 days of live training with me. Our $1 million challenge exercises, workbooks, templates, and tools. Exactly like these things that have helped us build a 7-figure company. And maybe your goal right now is just to make $1,000 in your first event. Maybe it's 10,000, maybe it's 50. But I will say I've had people brand new launch an offer for the first time using this model and without a big audience have made multiple 5 figures in their first event. I'm not guaranteeing that, but if you follow this, when I think of most of our clients that have, $10,000 to $50,000 result, they've only got like 20, 30 people in their event. It's not a huge container. You don't need thousands or hundreds of people. Plan and build your first or next conversion event. We're going to map it all out in 5 days, 1 hour a day. If you can't be on the lives, by the way, you do get access to the replays, not lifetime, but you have each day to watch the replay. Because I don't want you getting behind. I don't want you to rely on that crutch of I'll do that later. That's not what we're about. But you don't have to be in the live sessions. Just know that you could still get the value here. You're going to get answers to your questions every day. Even if you can't be on the live streams, you could ask questions on our questions thread, and myself and our community manager in that event will help you get the answers. $10,000 worth of prizes and giveaways, as I mentioned. We're going to give you our gamified challenge setup checklist and standard operating procedures. 6-figure day framework masterclass. We're going to show you this, the event system, because it really takes a system to not only do this once, but make it repeatable. How can you run this event? You're going to put the work in building a signature event. How can you be like us and run it every single month for 3 years? That's my goal for you, because that's what's going to get you the best results. And it doesn't have to be monthly. Maybe you start doing it once a quarter, and maybe it's once every other month. We're looking at possibly doing this twice a month now, because that's how dialed in we've got it. And I actually really love the process. It doesn't take me a lot of effort to run this event. The sales CRM process, like how to really set up your customer relationship management tool to make sure the work you're putting in is being followed up with. And then how to automate all of this container that you're building for your event, right? So it's $47 today for a ticket to this event. And that's everything you're going to be getting for that $47 pass. So we do have the option for $500 14-day pass. If you want the replays for 14 days, it's only $500. I know that sounds like, why would I pay $500 when there's 47? But even if you paid $500 for this event, and you could leave here with a clarity in your offer created, ready to launch. And let's say that offer's on the low end of $100. You need 5 sales. And imagine if you run this event every single month, it could make you thousands of dollars, not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Is that worth $500 for you? But it doesn't cost, you don't have to take that option. Very few people buy that option because I don't recommend it. I recommend paying $47, coming to the live event starting on Monday, May 22nd, $47 for that to get all the bonuses. What's going to happen for $47? You're going to join that community. We're gonna go live starting on the 22nd for an hour a day for 5 days. You'll have the replays until the end of that week. So we don't want you to get behind, but you don't have to like be live is my point. So people say, I can't be live, so I can't come. Like you should still come. You should still find an hour a day if you want to solve the problem in your business of turning your cold traffic into clients, which is our goal of business, right? You need leads, you need audience, you need sales. So what's going to happen on this funnel? We're going to drop a link in the chat. There's probably one, if you're watching the replay on YouTube, Facebook, click that link, you go to this exact funnel. You're going to click on the button. You're going to make the $47 payment. Immediately, you'll get an email to join our Challenge Conversions community where the event will be hosted. Make sure you end up in that group. If you don't end up in that group, I promise you, we're going to come find you. It's not a bad thing. We're just going to make sure, we want to make sure you're in the group, okay? We don't let anyone left behind. Our first priority is everyone who invests the $47 to get them into the community. And I know a lot of people don't do that, but I think it's important for you to, it's not hard. There's a link in your email. There's gonna be a link on the thank you page. You can't miss it. Join the community. We're gonna welcome you to that community and we're gonna invite you to watch the welcome video. And then there's some pre-work for you to get started with. I know we have 2 weeks to go, but get it while it's early bird access. And for those of you that want to upgrade to VIP, there's a VIP option. You don't have to do this, but I'm highly recommend it. So as a $47 ticket holder, you get to watch the replay or the live stream inside of the Facebook group. So you'll be in the group and you'll be watching. If you want to be on Zoom with me, not only are you on Zoom, but you're going to get an extra, at the top of the hour, you end the live stream, you're going to get an extra hour behind the scenes with me to look at what you're completing, ask your questions, give you an audit, give you direct feedback. And that's why we limit VIP tickets, because I want to talk to all of you in that session. And on top of that, we have some additional resources we're going to give you. Number one, I've only got a few of these left. So I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to do this. I bought 250 of these books and we've been giving them out for 2 months now to our VIP ticket holders. It's a physical copy. I'm going to write you a little note, sign it, and mail it out to you. This goes to your house. And this book is for sale right now, if it's still available on Amazon for $226 for a hard copy. And once it's sold out, I've been told by Justin Benton and Russell Brunson that the only way to get this book is by joining Russell's Inner Circle. And it's a $50,000 admission for that mastermind. And why that would still be worth it at this price is because these stories in this book are about people that started from nothing, built a 7-figure business, earned the 2 Comma Club Award, and got to contribute a chapter in this book, exactly how they did it. And one of the chapters is mine. And I know when Russell asks you to do something, you go all in. I gave a lot of detail to exactly how I did it in this book. And you have 24 other people that have done the same. So this book, I've read everyone's chapter. It's amazing. I got so much value out of it. And you get it basically for free as a bonus for buying VIP ticket. We also are going to throw in the funnel that you're going through right now to sign up for this challenge. We're going to give you this exact template. And people say, I'll give you this template, and they remove everything from it. We give you the exact template, word for word, picture for picture. I'm going to trust that you're going to go change those things out. Obviously, not just rip off our funnel because that wouldn't work for you anyways. But this funnel's been optimized 33 times, meaning we've spent a lot of money to have it built and optimized, and you're getting the exact one. So that's why I put $15,000 of value on this funnel, because I paid much more than that. I paid $15,000 to have that funnel built, paying my team to build it. Now we've refined it a ton and optimized it. So to me, it's invaluable. We're going to really shortcut your path to have that template, so you could go use that event template to build your own, to get signups and sales for your event. All right, so it's only $47 today for everything I just mentioned. For a regular ticket, $97 for VIP. I'd love to see you guys join that. There's a link in the chat. There's a link in the description. I'm going to stop the sharing here for a moment. And we'd love to see you guys in that event. I know it's a few weeks out, but you want to get in there now so I could send you the book. You could have it ahead of time. You get your workbook, start going through the process, and do the pre-work, which is pretty simple. It'll be watch the welcome video, introduce yourself, meet some amazing people. We've got over, I think, close to 400 people in that community now that have gone through this event. Some of you have gone through it multiple times, so we love seeing that. And every time you have a new takeaway, because the truth is when I run this event every single month, I learn new things about what's working. And even in 2 weeks, I'm going to be sharing some new things that we've done this past 30 days to optimize our signature event. And there's a few really cool things that I've never done before, but now that we're implementing are really doing well for us. So I want to share those with you guys on day one of that event. All right. So link is in the description. Again, wait for the email. We will reach out to you. We are in direct communication with anyone joining our events. We want to make sure that you have everything you need and to make sure you're clear on the workbook, clear on the welcome video, the start date, the schedule, all that. All right, everybody. What I'd like to do here now is those of you who are live with me on Zoom, cameras on if you're still, I know we lost a lot of people because it's like an hour and a half of your time. So thank you. I respect your time and appreciate you all being here. Hopefully you learned a lot. But if you guys have any questions and you're live on Zoom, I'm going to pull up the chat. Feel free to ask any questions. If you already dropped a question, it's just crazy to go back through all the comments and look. Ask it again. We'll take a few questions that you have about the hands-off Facebook approach method with the SOPs and everything we went over the last few weeks. If you have any questions on any of that, I know there's a lot that we covered, or if you have a question about the event itself that we're doing in 2 weeks, or if you just want to just drop what you're thinking. If you have no questions, say, here's my takeaway. Here's what I'm thinking. We would love to hear it. Okay. Who's going to be our first question? Let's go, Terry. Looking forward to meeting you in there. David says, I know it was from my past training, but I can't find the growth button to select in my group I made. It might not be available to every single group. I noticed like my new group doesn't have it yet. It might take time to roll out, especially if you made a brand new group. So Facebook's weird. Sometimes they have features available. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they show up. Sometimes they go MIA. They're always changing. So I would just check back, refresh, not every day, but like maybe every few days, just go back to that spot and see if it's there. And what David's referring to is there's a button that you could toggle on where Facebook will suggest your group to people likely to join it. Facebook's goal is to keep people on the platform. So if you have a community of people and it's active, they're going to show it to more people that are likely to stick around and engage in your community so they stay on the platform and so on. Yeah, just keep an eye out on that, David. Jennifer says, need help finding the Facebook group that has live. Are you talking about the replays for part 1 and part 2, the replays? So you have 2 options for this. Number 1, you could watch the full length replays of part 1 and part 2 and today's replay on YouTube. Doug Boughton, go subscribe. We appreciate it. You could watch the full length one. To make it easier for you, that document that we gave you, all of those broken down lessons, we clipped all of those from the replays. So you can just watch a 2-minute video and that's that thing. Because I do a lot of rambling. You guys, like, I just like to make sure you guys are being clear on everything and you have everything that you need. So what we do is we just take the nugget that I said, like, oh, we're going to show you how to name your group. It's like a 2-minute clip. So we took what's important out of it, save you time. Just watch that lesson. That is the replay, but it's just broken down into bite-sized pieces with action steps at the end of each one with the exact resource that we mentioned, just to help you. I think that's probably the best way to do it, in my opinion, because then you can keep track of where you left off and which ones you did. It's a great question. What's the trimmed down version to building your group? This is it, man. I know it's Scott, dude, just go through the bullets. Like, I know, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So there's no shortcut here. This is it. This is the truth. No one's going to tell you that this is work. But it's built a 7-figure company. So is it worth it? You know, what I ask people, like, what are you currently doing in your business? And I know if you're running a business of your own, it's a lot of work. Or what are you currently doing in your job? And is that going to make you $1 million? It might. But the truth is, going through part 1, part 2, part 3 isn't going to take that long. This is the shortcut. All right. This is the trimmed down version. You can't not do these steps, right? Step 1, name your group. It's going to take you 7 minutes to watch this video. Maybe a couple minutes to brainstorm and pull up ChatGPT to come up with some names for you. Don't make it perfect, right? But you can't go to step 3, right, without naming your group, because then you have to create your group. You need a name to create it. So all of these are really in order. Okay, let me write my group description. You can skip this one, but it'd be foolish because you'll find out why in this video. So yeah, don't look at this whole sheet. I promise you, if you put your head down and you say, you put this in your calendar for this time block, and I'm going to name my group in this 30-minute block. I'm going to create my group and build it in this hour block. And you do this for the next couple of days, you can knock this out in a few days. I've seen people do it. If you're part-time at this and you have an hour a day, it might take you a week, it might take 2 weeks, depends on how you move. But this doesn't have to take you a super long time. Just don't look at part 2 until you finish part 1. Don't look at lesson 3 till you finish lesson 2. I'm not just picking on Scott. I know Scott's one of our clients, but for anyone here, this could be a lot. It could overwhelm you. Take a Post-it note and write naming your group. Watch naming your group and put that on your, don't look at this. Look at the task you're doing. Watch that one video, go to the next. So it's all in order, step by step, how to set up your community, how to automate your community, and then we'll have these all built out for you today, the replays trimmed out for you to make it easier. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible, and that's my solution for that. All right, David, thanks for being here. I'm gonna someone asked, is it really worth it if we're working on 2 niches? No, absolutely not. Do not do that. People don't like this answer, you guys. You guys want to know what really, really happened to me 4 years ago when I launched and had all this success just happen? People call it overnight, but the truth is it took me 8 years of failing. 8 years, you guys. I dropped out of college, found this online marketing thing. I was in sales roles, restaurant jobs. I was all over the place. I had no personal life. I was always working. And you could see a post I just wrote about this, but it basically took me 8 years of failing over and over again, 30 different business opportunities I tried to start and just never panned out because I was always trying to do 7 things at once, not even 2, like 7. This one even worked with 2 things. It wasn't until October 2018, I said, you know what? These are my things I enjoy doing. Here's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to focus everything on this, all my energy. In fact, I'm leaving my job with no money, but I wouldn't recommend that, but it put me in a place where I had to go forward. Like that's what it did for me. I'm not going to say I was, single, no kids. I knew that I wasn't affecting anybody else if I just quit my job. In fact, it did wonders for me. I had no choice but to move forward, and things blew up. But I think not only that, I had no safety net, but I also focused on one thing. And I did that one thing until, I had a lot of success with it. And to me, a lot of success was just getting consistent revenue, paying off my student loan, which I did in 6 months, and able to hire some people to help me and then go to that next target. So ask yourself, you have 2 ideas. Number 1 is like, what one would you rather talk about? What is it? I was doing so many things and I found out what do I talk about? I like talking about marketing. So I'm going to go all in on this ClickFunnels thing and help people learn this because that's been my struggle. And I figured it out because of all my, ups and downs, and I'm going to go help people with that. So what is the one thing you could talk about every day? What's the one of the 2 things? Now, second thing is to say, what's going to be more helpful for the people that could use the solution to that problem that they have? Like, what solves the bigger problem? Because people that have a bigger problem are going to pay a lot more money to solve that problem, right? So ask yourself, which one of these solves a bigger problem? And if you have to ask yourself, who has the money to invest? Some people want to solve big problems for broke people, and broke people are not only broke, but broke in, like I used to be. And they're not going to be able to invest even if they have the money because their mindset isn't right to invest. So not only what's the bigger problem you could solve, but who has the capital to invest in solving that problem with you. So these are a few questions I would ask myself. I'm not sure who asked that question. If you have 2 things, choose one, go all in. Don't make 2 groups. Don't make 2 profiles. Don't make 2 email lists. Man, I've gone down that path way too many times. The only reason now I have 2 communities because I've been doing this for 4 years, 1 platform, 1 message, 1 offer, made 7 figures. And now it's for who we serve, which are entrepreneurs hosting virtual events, already have an audience and an offer and want to scale faster by selling one-to-many, selling high-ticket one-to-many without sales calls, like it's working amazing. However, 9 out of 10 people that find me online aren't that person. They're not really ready to join our academy because they don't even have an offer. They don't have an audience. They don't have, and I don't want to leave those people behind because that's the people that I was 4 years ago that I feel called to serve and get some wind because there's so much out there. They're so overwhelmed. So the only reason we're starting this new community is so we could focus on the people that aren't ready for our academy. And you'll hear about it soon, but we're rolling out something very affordable to help newer entrepreneurs, or maybe not even newer, but just people that haven't got any results, and really get clear on audience growth and offer creation and help you keep it simple so you can start earning some revenue. And that way you have these sales coming in that get you the results you need to go out there and build a team and just really start to design your life. My brand's full-time freedom. It's like, what's the life of freedom? It's not working. If you're an entrepreneur, you love working, but it's not doing everything in your business. So that's my goal. It's called Offer and Audience Mastery. It's coming out soon. Just keep your ears open. By the way, we're announcing it in our challenge. For the first time, we're going to talk about it and share the details of that in our 5-day event on the 22nd. I haven't told anybody that. So now you know. If you want to see what that's all about, buy a ticket to our event. You'll be the first to hear about it. It's limited spots when we do launch that offer. And it's not a massive amount of money. I really try to make this affordable for the people that, aren't ready for our 6-month coaching program, that just want quick wins and to move faster. All right. Any other questions? I know we're 2 hours into this. I probably got to wrap up. I got to be at dinner in an hour. I'll tell Grant you all said hello. I'm looking forward to it. Keep an eye out for some content. I'll be taking, I'm sure, videos and posting some stuff. Looking forward to seeing some good friends there. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Jeremy and Matt and Leslie, thanks for being here today. Clients, you know who you are. Appreciate you all being here. But everyone else, thanks for showing up. Thanks for doing the work. We'll see you next Thursday, same time, same place. Bye, everybody.